Alright, today we're going to be throwing an alternator in this 1989 Lincoln Continental. This thing is in great shape, 65,000 miles, no rust. I just picked it up at an unbelievable price, so it's going to be the subject of a couple of future videos here. It's got those Lincoln Gremlins. I owned a 96 and kind of battled with a lot of the electrical issues, the air ride suspension, all those types of things. So today we're starting with the alternator, and this should be quick and painless. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we're going to start by removing the negative battery terminal. You can see that this terminal could use to be replaced. It's pretty well squashed in, and the nut was buried into the lead there. So I'm just going to pull that out of the way and tuck it so it can't make contact. Alright, next I'm just going to remove the electrical connections here. Okay, for this I'm going to use a 7/16 inch socket. Just going to break it loose, and then I'm going to remove the nut by hand just so I don't lose any nuts or washers. And set that aside. Okay, next we need to remove the actual serpentine belt. Let me reposition the camera here so you can get a shot of that. Alright, so even though it's a 1989, it does have a serpentine belt. You can see that the auto adjust mechanism, or maybe you can't see, but it's actually laying against what looks to be the heater core line, so this belt is probably stretched. This one requires a 1/2 inch ratchet or breaker bar, and you may have to move some connections out of the way. I'm probably blocking the shot entirely here. Okay, and then we're just going to pull it back toward the camera, or toward the front of the vehicle rather. Okay, and what I'm going to try to do is, because I don't want to restring this, I'm just going to kind of leave it like that, okay? Alright, let's go ahead and remove the alternator. Alright, so we've got 2 bolts to remove, one here and one here. This one's a 5/8. Just got a 5/8 inch socket on my 1/2 inch ratchet here. Just going to bust this loose. And we're hitting my dryer here. I'm going to leave that in there. That'll come out when we pull the alternator. Okay, we're going to get the other side here. 9/16. It's right here. I don't know if you can actually see it. This one is sagging a little bit in the rear end. Nobody likes a saggy bottom end, right? So I'm going to take a look at that here eventually. I'm going to replace a belt. I'll do a quick video on that, even though you get the concept by just watching this video. I've got a few other things to fix on it. At the end of this video, I'll get a quick shot of the car, and you can judge for yourself as to whether or not it's in good shape. I think you're going to find that it's in impeccable shape, and I think it was really quite a good deal, and I thank Miss Aramita and her husband and their family for passing this along to me, because it's an outstanding vehicle for the price. So, alright, let's go ahead and get this thing out of here. Alright, so you are going to have to pull this bolt out kind of as far as you can. It's hitting this dryer unit on the compressor, but I don't really want to have to pull that. It'll come out far enough. Okay, you just got to get it out that far. Okay, there it is. Now with this one, I've got to pull the pulley and install it on the new one. So, okay, let me move the camera here. Alright, before we yank that pulley, I wanted to take a quick look and show you here that sitting just below the alternator is what appears to be solder, and that tells me that that alternator had a diode meltdown or something. So I think we're on the right track here. Funny thing is, it was putting out voltage. It wasn't putting out enough voltage at idle, and then when you rev it up, it'd come up to you know, about 14 volts. So alright, so let's go ahead and yank that pulley. Alright, so for this we need a 15/16 inch socket. You could use an impact wrench, that would make life easy, but if you don't have one, what you need to do is take some sort of a screwdriver or something, and you'll notice I'm putting it inside the alternator itself. I'm not really using the cooling fins because you don't want to bend those all out of place, but you can see it's actually stopping and it's not really hitting the cooling fins, okay? So that's going to allow you to, especially if you're sending this back for core, or you're just going to junk it anyways, right? It's not a big deal to jive a screwdriver in there, okay? And it shouldn't be on there too awful tight anyways, so. Okay, Pay attention, you've got a washer. Okay, take it off just like that. Alright, so the new alternator came with a new nut and a lock washer. It's actually refurbished. And then you'll also notice that you can use a bit socket or an Allen wrench to hold it in place while you tighten it down. So let me grab a 3/8 inch ratchet. This is a 5/16 inch hex socket. Okay, so I'm going to use my new nut and my new lock washer. And I don't have a 15/16 inch combination wrench or open wrench, so I'm actually going to use an adjustable, which is typically not advisable, but we're only going to tighten it down to the point where we're crushing that lock washer anyway. So, okay. I don't know how much of that you can actually see up there, but basically holding the nut with the wrench. Okay. And I can see the lock washer is not crushed yet. And it's starting to compress now. Alright. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that lock washer is fully compressed. Okay? Alright, let's get this thing installed. Alright, so we're just going to install it in reverse order. Okay, we're going to drop this alternator in. I'm going to support the bottom of it with my hand. Remember, we do have this bracket, but one side is open, this side is open, so we can kind of get it started without the bracket. And I'm just going to try to finger thread that. Okay. Now I'm going to see if I can drop the bracket in here. Okay, remember this side of the bracket went on the outside of this little support brace here. And pivot that up, see if we can get that one finger tightened. Alright, things are going smoothly here. Let me grab my sockets. Alright, remember this one here was a 9/16. Alright, this one was a 5/8. Alright, next I'm going to remove my socket because we need this to adjust the belt tensioner. But I'm going to make sure my belt hasn't been removed from any of the lower pulleys here real quick, and then we're going to pop the belt back in place. I think we're good. I'll be doing a belt replacement video here at some point, I'm sure. Okay. Pull that back. There we go. All right. So now I'm just going to double check all the pulleys. For example, I can see that was off by one rib. You get this little idler pulley down here. Make sure it's on that, centered. You've got 2 pulleys down below, and I think we're in good shape. Okay. So hopefully this video has been helpful. This is one of those things that's not difficult at all, and the parts are relatively inexpensive. Shop around a little bit, obviously. This is a remanufactured. This again was a 7/16, and you don't want to go gangbusters on this thing. You just want it tight. Alright, I'm going to hook my battery up. I'm going to give it a shot. At the end here, I'll link to a couple of other videos, but I'll also show what the car looks like. It's in impeccable condition, I think, for the year. So let's hook the battery up real quick. And if you want to see more of this type of stuff, I do a lot of DIY videos, auto repair, household repair, winterization, all kinds of stuff. So if you want to see more of this type of stuff, hit that subscribe button right there for me, please. And if this video was particularly helpful in any way, give me that thumbs up. That helps out. That makes me want to do more videos, and I appreciate it. So thanks for watching. Have fun. Take your time. If you have one of these old Lincolns, good for you. I'm proud of mine. You should be proud of yours. Have fun.